Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to talk about this idea I had, which is updating certain characters' movesets. So, as we know in the series, characters in Class 1A and other characters have developed ultimate moves, super moves, stuff like that, and some of those ultimate moves are not in the game. Like, for example, Red Riot Unbreakable. That's not in the game. Don't know why, but it's not. So, instead of making a whole new character around these, characters that need their new ultimate attacks or forms in the game, why not just update certain characters' movesets to include those ultimate attacks? Because if they're going to add another Deku into the game, it would definitely be Air Force, because, that's his next attack, and it's also needed to tell the story if they do another game. So instead of trying to create a whole character around, a character that just fires a projectile, because it's hard, I thought about it, but it's not easy. I tried, but there's not really much you can do with it. Maybe you can make him have a rapid fire, maybe you can make him have a dodge. I don't know, you could totally do it, but it'd be kind of stretching it, because again, he only fires a projectile. He only flicks his finger and a projectile launches at the opponent. That's not really much you can do with that. So instead of trying to make a whole nother character around that one attack, why not just update certain characters' movesets to include those attacks? And that's the idea for this video. So funny enough, I can only think of 3 characters. I don't know. I tried to think of other characters. I just couldn't think of any other characters. There were probably a couple characters in the game still that could totally get an updated moveset, but I just couldn't think of anyone besides these 3. So if you guys have any more thoughts or ideas, or just characters in general that you think should get updated movesets to include these new ultimate attacks and stuff, let me know down in the comments below, because I would love to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts about this idea. And yeah, so let's just dive into it. Also, real quick, I forgot to mention that there will be some spoilers from the My Hero Academia manga and the My Hero Academia movie, My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. So I just wanted to warn you real quick, just in case you didn't want to be spoiled. Now with all that out of the way, let's begin the video. So the first character I have on the list is Shoot Style Deku. What his updated move would be is Air Force. What would happen is he would get his Air Force gloves, and it would replace his kicking projectile, and it would swap it with Air Force projectile, and it would be different from base Deku's because it would be faster, not as large, and yeah, that's how it would be a different kind of projectile from base Deku. Yeah, see, Shoot Style has this little projectile, he kicks the ground and a projectile lobs at the opponent. It's a cool projectile, but I feel like you could totally swap that out for Air Force. Perfect. He already has a projectile, so just swap it out with, Air Force. And the way you can make that kind of projectile different from base Deku, because base Deku already kind of flicks his finger and launches a projectile, so how you make it different is make it smaller, make it faster, just stuff like that. That's how you can totally make it different. And if you do add that, then you could totally just change Shoot Style's name to Deku. You know what I'm saying? Because Shoot Style and Air Force are both moves he made himself. So if you're going to update Shoot Style's moveset to include Air Force, why not just call him Deku? Or maybe you can even call him Costume Gamma. Not Costume Gamma. You can call him Gamma Deku because of Costume Gamma. That's where I was going with that. So you could either call him Gamma Deku because of Costume Gamma, or just call him Deku. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to, call him Shoot Style anymore, because he will have Air Force and Shoot Style included, 2 moves he made himself, so I think that totally works. And then that way you could have base Deku, the Deku who couldn't control the power correctly, then you could have Deku, or Gamma Deku, the Deku who learned to control the power and added his own moves to it, like Shoot Style and Air Force, and would be at 20%, and then you could have Infinite 100% Deku, where he's at 100% of his power. So you could have all 3 variations of Deku, a before version of Deku, an after, variation of Deku, and then the Deku we see in the anime right now. So I think that could totally work, and that's my idea for Shoot Style. Alrighty, so moving on to Kirishima, his updated attack would be Red Riot Unbreakable. So I feel like the way they can add this attack in is, first off, just give Kirishima a level system. So what the levels would be is his level 1 would be his normal form. He doesn't have any harden activated. He doesn't have any armor. He's just normal Kirishima. His level 2 is the armor that he has in the game right now, where it works pretty well, but it gets broken by red attacks and yellow attacks, so you could have that armor. And then if you click the button again, you get his level 3, or Red Riot Unbreakable, where he has the same exact super armor as Tetsu, except the stamina bar doesn't go down, but he's a lot slower. And if you hit him with any type of red attack, he gets broken out of it immediately and goes back to his normal kind of form, so you can combo on him. And that's my idea. So it would kind of be like Tetsu, except instead of waiting for his stamina bar to go down and running away from him, you know, you can break him out of it with a red attack. And the way it's balanced is, you know, he's a lot slower, but he has that armor on all the time until you break him out of it. So, you know, that may sound overpowered, but again, remember, he's slow. If you hit him with any form of red attack, he goes back to normal, so you can combo on him at any time. So that way, you don't have to just keep running away from him like Tetsu. You can actually try to go up and do something about it. But if the Kirishima knows how to, you know, play the character very well, then they can use the super armor to their advantage and try to, you know, take control of the field. I think that would work out super well because, again, it gives him his red ride unbreakable mode, and it also gives him kind of like a better super armor because his super armor in the game right now gets broken by red attacks and yellow attacks. So, you know, it's not as good as it could be. You know, Tetsu has like a way better super armor. So I think that would work, and it would also make his super armor different from Tetsu's. Alrighty, so moving on to my final character, I have Tokoyami. His updated move or form would be Black Abyss. What would happen is, so you know when you click his quirk 1, he calls out Dark Shadow, and if you click it again, it goes back into him. So my idea is, if you click it once, Dark Shadow comes out. If you click it again, Dark Shadow goes onto Tokoyami and makes him go into his Black Abyss form. And I know Tokoyami is a pretty technical character already because you have his moveset, you know, by himself, and then you have his moveset when Dark Shadow comes out. So he is a pretty technical character. So rather than making him more complex than he has to be, instead of him, you know, getting new quirk specials when, you know, he wears Dark Shadow and he goes into his Black Abyss form, instead of updating all of his quirk specials to be something different, they're the same, but his normal attacks change. So instead of his quirk specials changing, his normal attack changes. You could totally update his kind of like moveset and his quirk specials when he wears Dark Shadow and goes into his Black Abyss mode, but again, that would make him extremely like complex and technical because then he would have like a third moveset, and that would make him kind of like, you know, a lot more harder to play. So instead of, you know, updating those quirk specials to be completely different, just change his normal attacks. His normal attack by himself, when he doesn't have Dark Shadow activated, he just does a couple kicks. When Dark Shadow is out, he kind of just swipes at the opponent with Dark Shadow a couple times. So what I'm thinking is he would maybe, you know, hit the opponent once with a kick, then swipe at them once with Dark Shadow, and then he maybe would follow up with his ultimate move, Black Abyss Sabbath, which we've seen in My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. And what would happen is he would hit the opponent and launch them, and if they're near a wall, it could cause a wall splatter. So that way, it doesn't really change too much. It only changes his, like, you know, normal kind of like attacks, you know. So instead of him doing like a kick and then like, you know, or a couple swipes with Dark Shadow and that's it, you know, it changes it up. So he has one kick, one swipe, and then boom, Black Abyss Sabbath. So instead of, you know, just changing him up to be super crazy, super complex, again, you could totally do that. But instead of doing that, just update his normal attacks, you know? You can totally change his normal attacks. So that way, think about it. You can do so many more combos now. You can do his normal string now where he does the kick, the swipe, and then Black Abyss Sabbath. And if you're near a wall, it causes a wall splatter. You can follow up with a combo there. Or maybe if you're fast enough before, you know, the opponent gets too far away after they get hit with Black Abyss Sabbath, maybe you can turn Dark Shadow off, and you know how like sometimes the characters get stunned when, you know, he's putting Dark Shadow away, then maybe you can follow up with like a normal combo there. You know, there's so many more ideas you can do with it, but it doesn't make him too complex. It only just changes his, you know, normal attacks. So yeah. Also, something you could do in that form too is when he's in the air, you know how like right now when you jump into the air with Tokoyami and he kind of just dashes, he doesn't really do anything special. Well, maybe when he's in his Black Abyss form, you can give him his ultimate move, Black Fallen Angel, and he can kind of have like this new dashing animation and can kind of like glide like Hawks, because you know Hawks did mentor him, so it would make sense, and it would also give him just another kind of like incentive to go into that mode. So rather than just putting Dark Shadow away and then playing him normally, if you want, you could totally turn it on so he's in his Black Abyss form, and then if you're in the air, he can glide with Black Fallen Angel. I think that would make him super interesting, unique. Again, doesn't make him too complex, it doesn't change him up too much, but it gives him some more options and stuff, and I think it would be pretty cool. But yeah, those are my ideas for some updated movesets for some characters. Like I said before, for some reason, I can only think of 3 characters. Maybe there are some more characters out there, I just couldn't think of any of those characters. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this video, I don't know. If I can think of any other characters that need like an updated moveset, I might do a part 2. Who knows? But let me know down in the comments below if you have any other characters, thoughts, or ideas, you know, about this, because again, you could totally add these forms as their own characters, but I feel like instead of doing that, just update certain characters' movesets to include those new ultimate attacks or forms. I think it'd be a lot more simpler than just trying to create a whole moveset around, let's say Air Force, a character who just fires a projectile. I think it would work a lot better. Not to mention, it would give him more types of options and stuff for combos and stuff. So I think they could totally do this instead. And it would also kind of like, allow other characters to come to the game, because let's say if they did add Air Force Deku, that's like one more character that takes up the roster space instead of like a unique character, so it gives characters their new ultimate attacks without making the roster full of Dekus and stuff. And it would also allow unique characters to be on the roster instead of another form of a character on the roster. I don't know if that made any sense. I'm pretty sure it did. Basically, instead of adding a whole nother form of Deku, just update another Deku's moveset, so that way, we don't have like another Deku in the game, and since that spot is free now, a unique character can go there. That's just my thought process on it. So, yeah, I don't know if that's how exactly works, but that's just my thought process on it. So, yeah, but if you guys did enjoy, please like and subscribe. That would be amazing, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Later.